All right, so how we doing? Online, offline, Zooming, we're good? All right, well, I'm just going to proceed. With a prescript. I know some of you are aware of the fact that over the past couple of years have become extremely influenced by the world of astrophysics and cosmology. So I just wanted to give that as a pretext for my remarks. And after, if you want to ask me about the black hole on my lapel, I'll be happy to tell you. We are all voyagers, journeying across the space-time continuum. The universe in which we travel is expanding, which means that the destination we are reaching for will eternally be beyond our reach. But nonetheless, we are en route. We are in motion. There are no signposts pointing the way, no pre-assigned pathway through the mysterious, unseeable landscape up ahead. There is no one looking out for us. There is no unseen hand guiding us, no puppeteer, no strings. God is not some cosmic pilot. God is the light within us, the force of life and consciousness. We receive inspiration. Hello? 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 We receive inspiration from the Holy One, but God is not a beacon or a searchlight. God accompanies us, but does not clear the way. Each and every one of us on our voyage is tasked with being a trailblazer, each one of us hacking away at the darkness we confront. Jews aren't big on fortune tellers or soothsayers. We're not convinced that tarot cards or crystal balls are anything more than a scam. It'd be a welcome relief to have some information about tomorrow, some inside track. But tomorrow is not accessible. God cannot tell us what happens next. So as we're speeding forward without brakes, we often can feel utterly overwhelmed. How do we make sense of the finitude of our lives in an infinite universe? How is it that the universe literally just goes on and on and on, and we don't? That all we have is just on loan, that we take nothing with us. Is there any sense to be made of our lives? What does our voyage even mean? Such questions, my beloved congregation, define why we are here. We gather here to acknowledge shared traditions and history and culture. We gather and share matzah balls and Shabbat chicken and challah. We gather to make minyans to lift up the hearts of those in mourning. We create rituals and ceremonies. We share Jerusalem and St. Petersburg and Odessa and Leghorn and Rabat. We share the birth of Israel and the Holocaust and the Inquisition and the Exodus. We are Jews, a people with a deep and complicated past, flecked with strength and loss. Diaspora dwellers, outsiders, bound and determined to define our own lives as precious. We build purpose and hope. We make meaning with Jewish stories and values and menus and tools. Our raison d'etre is to provide stability and strength in times of darkness and anxiety. Our temple is not a club, nor is it a community center or a school. Beth Avodah is a crucible for making mensches, a place for making justice and forgiveness and laughter. It's home. Our temple is a collective beating heart. When Heidi Baker and Stacy Gabriel and Rebecca Bazin show our youngest students spice boxes, they're not seeking to indoctrinate them into a halachic practice, learning ritual for ritual's sake. What they're rather doing is a mind-opening exercise of translating the scent of cinnamon and cloves into an appreciation of the earth and the gift of the senses. It's about connecting them to a deep past and a comforting present. They are making meaning. The ELC gathers every Friday morning. Sometimes we're in the foyer together on the floor. I don't sit on the floor because I couldn't get up, but the kids are sitting on the floor. Sometimes we're outside at the Mizell tent, and the kids are on the blacktop, and each kid from the oldest to the youngest, spreads out their challah cover in front of them, puts on top of the challah cover their 2 candlesticks and a kiddush cup, a beautiful silver-plated plastic kiddush cup. Rebecca always brings me whatever the wine that's open for the week, so I never know what I'm going to get, but it's always interesting. And when the kids spread out, these little, 2-point whatevers to 5-point whatevers, they're very kind of, I wouldn't say solemn, but they're very purposeful about it. They arrange everything, and they sing the blessings. 3-year-olds are thanking God for bread. We sing, we laugh, and we hear from a talking challah. We break bread, and we are grateful. We signify life in those moments. We acknowledge that sacred moments actually exist. We make life holy. That's what we do. When Susan Glickman is singing during a service, it's not about performing a repertoire. It's about engaging hearts, about touching a place so deep that it can't even be defined, but it's real. It's making a moment holy. When Eileen makes a fabulous set of TikToks, and we watch the number of viewers go up, we're so excited about that. And Eileen's creativity and the way that she brings to all of our activities a kind of patina that shines, she makes it a sacred moment. Even a TikTok can be a sacred moment. Throughout Lori Rosen's time, she is able to create community, bringing people together, people who are members, people who may become members, people who are on the outside of the circle, people who are deeply within. And in those acts, making the gathering itself a holy experience. Miriam, who was our, what's the official title? Youth? And that was the official title. So, well, she's not here anymore, but oh, I'm sorry, she's still here. I know she's not watching. Anyway, now I'm getting in trouble. See, extemp. The point is, we're really thankful to what you did, particularly through COVID and into this year, working with our students in a whole different number of ways, bringing them a sense of comfort and eagerness to be here, making sacred moments. Iris Sonnenschein doing one of the most difficult jobs imaginable, which is being a B'nai Mitzvah tutor. That ain't easy. And she does it with a kind of purpose that the kids who are involved realize sometimes that they are engaged in something sacred. And even if it doesn't seem that way in each one of their lessons, when they get up on the bima, something happens. I'm not saying it lasts for the rest of their lives. All of you who are in this room who have children that have been on the bima for a bar or bat mitzvah, you know there's a transitional moment. There's a moment of sacredness. Iris makes that happen. Doug Ball, who is the ruler of all things around this building, who knows every inch of it, except when the freezer dies and we only find out the hard way, but that's a whole different story. Doug is so faithful to making this building accessible, open, ready for us. And thinking about all those months that Doug was in this building by himself, cleaning things up, lining things up, getting things ready for the eventual moment that we'd come back, the faith that you kept, that was sacred. And you preserved that when it felt really dark and lonely here. Jenna, who some of you have never met, but Jenna, would you just wave your hand? Jenna, she's our front desk. She is the first voice. She is not from Boston originally, if you can tell by her accent. She's from Brighton, actually, but in this case, on the other side of the pond. And the way that she handles all of us, takes care of us, takes care of you, answers calls, questions, concerns, she makes that exchange something special and unique. She carries the holiness of this organization in a very crucial place. Any of you that have people who are the first responders at the desk, you know the difference that they make and how you are perceived. And we are so grateful, Jenna. Becky, so her job description does not include technology, and yet she has been so deeply involved in wiring, rewiring, and zooming, and that's just like 1/50th of the work. There is so much that happens here. Becky, as always, on behalf of everyone here, the entire congregation, the entire staff, for your ceaseless dedication, for the way that you take difficult problems and somehow work them into a way that makes everybody okay, pleased, ready to move forward. This temple could not be the shining, unique, trusting environment it is without your love and attention. You are a maker of the sacred, and I thank you so much for that attention and so much more of what you do. There's been nothing slow or gradual about how the world has changed over the past few years. It's been so turbulent and so scary. The sheer enormity of COVID and its ongoing hold on us, body and soul, is impossible to quantify. The rise of authoritarianism across the world, and with it the rise in anti-Semitism and hate crimes, casts a troubling shadow. The advance of climate change and the lack of alarm in the boardrooms where real change is possible is disheartening. The threat to women that they will lose their right of autonomy over their own bodies is unspeakable. The carnage in Uvalde, Texas, caused by a kid who could walk into a gun store and buy ammunition and weapons whose sole purpose is to kill multiple victims, is almost too much to bear. We need our temple now more than ever. We need our common heart to beat with humanity and compassion for each other and for the world. We need to establish within these walls a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. We commiserate, and then we reach out for life. We make meaning. We don't look down, we look ahead. We do this not naively, but we do it with resolution. We don't know, we can't know what's going to happen out there. But we can decide who we want to be. We don't find meaning, we make meaning. We can't rely on where we were 15 years ago to define what we will do as an evolving congregation. The stakes are different now. The challenges are more daunting than ever. And so we must dare to do things and try things we've never even thought of before. This is daunting. This congregation, though, has never shied away from innovation. We are voyagers journeying across the space-time continuum, and this place, this community, this Jewish life provides solace and support and shelter from the storm. Come and we will build meaning and community and hope.